Hey everyone, and welcome to this special JAS drop. We are so excited because today we are going to learn a little bit more about how to use one of the most important features in the Svelte documentation. So I wanted to go ahead and introduce one of the Svelte core team members, Puru. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey all, I'm Puru. I'm a college student, but on the side, I worked on Svelte.dev, learned on Svelte.dev partly, kit side, and primarily what we're going to talk about the REPL.
Yes. So the REPL is one of the most powerful parts of the Svelte documentation again. And Peru has some tips and tricks. And, I think using this for anybody learning Svelte or generally using Svelte, period, right, is it's really valuable. So I'm going to go ahead and let you share your screen and we can get started.
Sure, all right. So as you can see, so let's just reload the page and start with a blank canvas. So this is the Svelte REPL, and how you can reach this is if you're on the main Svelte page, you just click on REPL, and you're here. So as you can see on the left side, you have your code, and on the right side you have a live preview. Now you, the viewer, might be familiar with Code Sandbox, Stackblitz, and just so many of the editors which are of this format. You have the code, and then you have the preview. However, unlike those, only works for Svelte. Yeah? And the second thing is this is much simpler and much faster than most of those alternatives because this relies on a roller build, and that's it. It is pretty lightweight. The entire thing is just 200 kilobytes. Jesus. So now with all the technical details aside, let's start with how you can get going. And get going is pretty simple. You start typing. Hola, namaste. So as you can see, you type, and on the right side, you see the live preview, which is not different from Stackless or Code Sandbox, which is all right. It's fine. However, where this REPL is different from those is you can actually see the output that you get for this little snippet right here. So let's just remove that for now. This thing that you're seeing right now, this is how your compiled Svelte code looks. So for those of you who are not aware, Svelte is a compiler. It takes your code like this, and during build time, it converts it to JavaScript, very, very efficient and small JavaScript that browsers can easily understand. So as you can see, this is how it goes. We declare the let name world here, and okay, where is it? All right, wait, here it is. I found it. So here we can find it, and you can also see Palestinian. Okay, all right. I'm kind of fumbling at this because yes, Swell compiler output is really complex. I'm thinking most people understand it, so I'll just move on now. So this is the output you see. You can also see the CSS output, and right now there's no CSS. So let me just add a little bit. I want to style the H1 to be. Wait, what is the name of the font that is pretty famous or infamous among developers?
I don't know. Comic Sans?
Comic Sans, yeah, you got it. So let's make a heading Comic Sans. So here you can see this is the style that Svelte generates, and this is added for the scoping part. So if you're familiar with Svelte, any styles you add here are scoped to the component itself. So only this section will be designed. And I'm sorry, my viewers. Oh, it did not work. So it seems that I do not have Comic Sans installed on a computer, which is very fortunate, I would say. Look at this. All right. I don't have it. Mono space, I would say. Mono space
There we go.
looks good. Good. Yeah, and I will not be installing Comic Sans at all. I'm fine with not having it. So as I was showing, this is the JS output. And if you see closely, there's this little tab just under the JS output. And here, these are all of the compiler options or the options that Svelte exposes. So if you just have a little bit of code and you just want to see how the output can change based on the different compiler options, you can check right here in the REPL. You need to set up a local environment and check. So currently we are building for the browser as a target. However, Svelte also has a server-side mode which can generate very efficient stringified version of your entire markup, which can be rendered on the server. So if I click on this, this is it. This is literally all the server-side code. The only purpose of this is to generate an HTML string that can be put in your pre-rendered .html file. So will go back to DOM. And regarding the styles, I'll just add a style back. So H1, font family, say monospace. So while we're talking about the styles, you can also decide, you can also see here what kind of styles you want. If it's external, means that Swell compiler generates an external .css files. Whereas if it's injected, you can see that your style is right here in your markup. So these are all options in the Svelte compiler itself that you can configure for your own app. But being in the REPL, it is just really easy to see it. And of course, coming to the infamous custom elements, we'll just toggle it on and see how the output changes. So I cannot see much difference in the output except for this part. This is this is a wrapper that takes a Svelte class and converts it into a custom element. So this is how it works. Custom element, you can make it immutable, as in all of the props that a component can receive. These are immutable in every way, whether it's an array or object, all of these. So you can actually toggle all of these on and off, just try it around. I've spent quite a bit of time just trying to toggle all of these in different combinations to break it. Surprisingly, Swell compiler, it just does not break. It's too good. And apart from these, we have this final thing which is called an AST output. So every compiler, it needs to parse its source code and convert it into a tree which it can parse very easily. And this is the output of the tree. So as you can see, we have HTML, which is the markup stuff. As you can see, that it already got highlighted. We have the CSS, which got highlighted, and then we have the instance part, and we can just click through and check every part of it. So it literally tells you the start, the end, context, finish. So if you're trying to write a Svelte preprocessor, or trying to create an API on top of Svelte's compiled output, this AST output, this is very very useful to debug. Because if you have worked on this stuff like Svelte preprocess, and you try to console.log in AST, it is an absolutely brutal process because it gets output in your Node.js terminal, and because it's a tree, you cannot see anything that's going on. It literally just says object at one point, whereas here the sky is the limit. So you can go as deep as you want. So these are some of the REPL basics that I walk you through. Now, of course, every REPL, every core editor needs a bunch of keyboard shortcuts, and the Svelte REPL, it uses this amazing thing called Code Mirror 6. Code Mirror 6 is an extremely customizable code editor, and 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 this specific REPL, it is configured with a lot of the sensible keyboard shortcuts. So, uh, Tracy, name me a keyboard shortcut that you use to move your code around in general. Something very useful.
Uh, Command C and Command V.
Precisely this much. But did you know that you can also do this? What I did was I pressed Option, Shift, and down arrow key. And for your Windows users, it is Alt, Shift, down arrow. So I can just do this, and then if I hit Alt, Shift, arrow up, then it
Mhm.
creates it above.
Oh,
So
that's
you have all of
amazing.
this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or like the ones if you need to change like just one, change all the functions in a line. So if you have like 10 lets and you want to change everything that's a let with one.
Uh, okay, so to do that, there are actually two methods.
Mhm.
So we'll just say let x equal to 10, the
Mhm.
infamous math problem, and now you have two methods.
Mhm.
So So right now, what you can do, you can just put your cursor here, and then hitting Command, or for Windows users Control, you can Command click here also, and now you have two cursors.
Mm-hmm.
Const. As
Perfect.
simple as that. And the
Yeah.
cursor is still here, so I'll just make it back lit again. And I'll show you another feature that most of the users might not be aware of. You just need to hit Command F. Okay,
Oh,
the
nice.
all right. The theming is a little botched, so I'll just switch to dark mode. Okay. So in this, all you need to do is just type let is selected, and you can
Perfect.
replace it with simply const. Replace all. And of course, regular expressions, just like in VS Code, they work. By word, match case, everything is here, and we can just dismiss it.
Makes it so convenient. Now, when are you adding ChatGPT to this?
Um, ChatGPT or GitHub Copilot?
It's coming, right? If
No,
if if they gave you access to the APIs for free, wouldn't that be amazing?
I mean, it would be amazing, but the problem is, I don't know how we would integrate them, because those APIs would need to work in a browser context. So, for
Mhm.
example, for example, in the beginning, I mentioned Stacklets and Code Sandbox. So Stacklets, with its web containers, has its own backend within frontend, and
Right.
Code Sandbox has a proper backend somewhere running on the servers. This does not have any backend.
Yep.
That's what makes it so fast. So
Mm,
uh,
mm.
so like I would say, forget about the GitHub Copilot. Just integrating Svelte language server is it's kind of a challenge right now.
Yep. Yep. Cool.
So
What other tips do you have?
I would just like to walk you through some of the more shortcuts. So, well, before we come to shortcut, we can collapse the stuff. Collapsing stuff is very, very important when you have a lot of code in there. We have this. You can of course create more components. So no, yeah, my examples are pretty creative, I would say. Import hi from dot slash hi dot 12. So you can type all of this, and we just oops slash, and you have it here. Pretty contrived, but after that, I would like to. Okay, I've been saying this, but before we move on to the key bindings, I just want to show you a little bit example. So, Tracy, do you like confetti?
Yes, always.
All right, so
Only if it's rainbow colored.
it is rainbow colored. Anyways, this one is a self plug of sorts. I have this little confetti library for Svelte. It's just 1.6 kilobytes, so I would just like to use that. So as you can see, you can import any npm package from here. So I'll just import it. We'll just make it. What's the name? Oh yeah, confetti. It's an irony that I made the package and I forgot the function name. So how you use this? You use div use confetti, and you have it.
Whoa, pretty. Now you
Precisely.
need to do
So
all the different colors of confetti, like the rainbow, the blue, the
uh,
orange.
we actually can do that,
Oh, I
although
love it.
in in, in, in fact, wait, let me pull it up. Uh, it is kind of embarrassing that you are the author of a library and you still don't remember how it was. Wait. All right. So instead of just adding it to that original example, yeah,
Ooh,
this is the same confetti
pretty.
and can change colors.
Oh, nice. That's cool. That's fun. That's really fun.
Yeah, so this was a bit of a segue into my confetti. Let's just go back to the fun stuff.
Mhm.
That's it. So there it is, and of course you get all of your errors, unexpected too, and that's not a helpful error, you already know that is unexpected. And hey, also you've got squiggles. So this is a feature of Svelte where if you have a unused style, for example, we had H1 here, but we don't anymore. Svelte will automatically tell you that the style is unused, So it will automatically remove this style while when you build it, but having a warning that that it is unused CS selector just good. Isn't good. So now finally moving on to the keyboard shortcuts. So for all of you Emacs user, we have all of the Emacs shortcuts, most of them. So, so let me look them up. I'm not an Emacs user, so I'll just look them up. There's a Control T which you can use to transpose characters. So if I hit Control T, I hope my browser does not trigger. Aha, transpose characters. You can actually switch two characters in between which cursor is, and you can switch them around. So let's go, chaos, chaos, chaos. We have this. So we have a bunch of Emacs keyboard shortcuts. We have Control C, Control V, definitely. Command click, I already showed. I have a little bit of console that log, hello, and hey, you can get console log right here, and you can also log a bit more complex data structures. For example, hello world, and you can just it is just a JSON tree, which is the name of the library that you are using. So, so all of the console outputs are right here, and what more do we have? Oh, and I just want to pull attention to my most favorite keyboard key shortcut that I found just a few hours ago while researching this. If you hit Command I, it selects the entire parent scope of where your cursor is. So, for example, the parent of this is the script. So, Command I will select everything in here. And to illustrate it, if you create a function save, comment, comment, and the shortcut key for comment is command slash, literally command slash. So if I hit command I, hey, we have everything. Same with the style block, command I, although there's nothing here, it's still selected. So these are some of the keyboard shortcuts that are really nice, I would say.
That's awesome. I love it. Any other exciting things to share about the REPL?
Right. So I've got two things I'd like to share. First one is a hidden feature that I myself found while contributing to this REPL, and I'm going to guarantee that 90% of the viewers will not even know it exists. So I would like to say that you can actually document your REPL completely. For example, I'm not talking about using comments like, "Hey, this REPL is a hello world." No, none of that bullshit. You can literally just write readme.md, and you have a markdown file now. Hello. Full. Those are my titles. And you have markdown here. You can have images, you can have HTML. You have all of the, you have basically everything, you can say. So you can actually document all of your REPLs in this way. And I will admit, right now it looks kind of ugly. The first thing that I'm going to do when this video ends is just go and fix all of it at dark mode, at good style, just like that. This has been a bit of a neglected aspect of REPL because no one really knows it. But hey, you can actually document your REPLs, and yeah, this is good documentation, I would say. So now let's just save it. I'll just save it. And this REPL can be shared with this URL. And it's documented here. Perfect. So this was the hidden feature that I was talking about. The next thing that I would like to talk about is an upcoming little experiment that we are looking to do, which is a hybrid REPL, which is web container and roller combined. So let me elaborate that. this REPL that we're seeing, it is run entirely by Rollup. So Rollup is running in a web worker, and it does all of the bundling, all of the diagnostics, everything in your browser without the need of a backend. But the limitation is that you cannot run SvelteKit in it. In the Svelte it will only work for Svelte. There cannot be any SvelteKit in it in anywhere. However, if you're aware of this little thing called learn.svelte.dev, which is Svelte's official resource for learning, as you can see, this one uses web containers. Let me reload. So as you can see, this one uses web containers, and as you can see, this is literally just a files tab, which is what we have here. This is an editor, which is again what we have here, and then we have the output. So right now there's no output. If I click on solve, and Rich Harris recrolls us again. So, anyways, coming back to it, so we have an output which is here. So, if you think about it, this is also just an REPL. However, the thing is, this one uses web containers, that one, and this one uses rollup. They are both separate technologies. So I'll be doing experiments to create a one single REPL in which you can switch between rollup and web containers. While that's useful, this one can stay the rollup REPL, that is just very extremely lightweight, just 200 kilobyte weight. That's it. And this one, for the swell tutorial, we can switch it over to rollup one as well. And when we are going through the Swellkit tutorial, well, Swellkit tutorial cannot work in with just rollup. So for that, we switch to web containers. Web containers are definitely much heavier than rollup itself. Swellkit and Vite is what runs Swellkit. They are also heavier. So it actually does not make any sense to have the Svelte tutorial use web container, because there's no need. So these will be my upcoming efforts. Uh, I'm not going to make any promises that folks will get to use the SvelteKit REPL on their own. For example, I cannot promise that if you go here you'll be able to use the SvelteKit REPL, etc. For now, I recommend you use sveltelab.com.dev. Look what is SvelteKit. There's this little thing called Svelte Lab. Svelte Lab is dedicated to SvelteKit. So if you want to use SvelteKit, go for it. This is a really amazing thing, and it's dedicated just to SvelteKit. So coming back to it, we are not promising any public interfacing for that, but it could be coming. It might be coming. No promises though.
By December, when Svelte 5 comes out, there's 2 promises there. Just kidding, but no, it'll be exciting to see. It'll be exciting to see, and it'll be really fun to learn what's going on along the journey of that too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm very excited, and part of that reason is that not everyone here knows how Svelte 5 looks. So
Yes,
I'm just as excited as you to see how it looks.
yes, yes. Well, thank you so much. This was really fun to just like kind of learn some of the tips and tricks and hidden secrets about the REPL for Svelte. Where can we find you online?
I have a personal website at puruvij.dev,
Hmm.
or you can just find me on Twitter at puruvijdev, which is just my
Perfect.
website with dot removed.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you all next time. Thanks.
Sure. Bye.